My girlfriend lied to me about having cancer. Now, usually I don't react to videos like this, but this happened to me within my life as well. One of my first long-term relationships ever was back in college and was actually my RP awakening in our moment when my ex at the time told me that she had cancer as well, and it turned out to be a complete, utter lie and fabrication. Let's listen to her story.
My girlfriend lied to me about having cancer. Story time, true story, and this happened to me. So her and I were meant to move in together. We were living together anyway, but her guarantor application was declined. I then had to quickly, in order to avoid homelessness, secure a new roommate and got a message saying, if you move in with this person, your girlfriend is going to unalive herself.
Damn!
And I was like, what? Who is this person? What the hell? But it also made me feel incredibly guilty that I wasn't moving in with my girlfriend. So I was kind of devastated, but I knew that I needed to live somewhere and I needed to get somewhere fast. Otherwise I would be homeless, so I went ahead anyway.
Okay.
Fast forward to another instance where my mum had planned a trip for me and her to go to Liverpool, and days leading up to this trip, my girlfriend's mental health was suffering. She needed me. She was like, don't go, I don't really want you to go. And whilst I was away, I was constantly being texted by someone else telling me that my girlfriend had tried to overdose. I tried calling her, I tried calling her mum, I tried calling her family. I didn't know if I needed to come home early, what I should do. We went to the train station. I changed my mind. I didn't want to, cut short this trip that my mum had planned. And I kept hearing the phone ring. When it wasn't ringing, I was going a bit insane. The whole thing was like driving me crazy. I was actually like in a bar in Liverpool when I found this out and like literally went to toilets and cried because it really upset me and I felt awful and powerless that I was in Liverpool when this had happened. So basically it ruined the entire trip, and I felt so awful because my mum had planned it for us. I was at uni, she paid for the entire thing, she booked the train, the hotel, everything, like the food, the drinks, with some amazing package deals, and it's honestly ruined like Liverpool for me. Oh my god, I'm gonna get emotional. But I was a shell of my former self, and the entire relationship consumed me, and the drama that just always seemed to be encompassing me and the relationship. It was really hard. Then mum planned a holiday for me and her. Again, she'd paid. Flights, hotel, food was all included.
Let me guess. You went on another trip and you got random texts from someone saying that the young lady, something was happening with her. She was in self-deletion mode. She was unavoidably sick. Let me guess. Now, again, I usually don't do videos like this because I usually stay away from the LGBTQA type conversations. But I think that we can gain insights from this because whether or not you are hetero or the other, situations of people lying can be within your reality. So let's continue to listen to see what we can learn.
And everything. And we're only going for, I think it was 5 or 7 days. And at this point, I only weighed 45 kilos wet through, so I'm not massive now, but at the time I was literally like a stick. And leading up to this trip, again, my partner was kind of giving me the impression that she didn't want me to go, she needed me. But I went because my mum had planned it, and it wasn't like I wasn't going to go. So during our time there, I was being constantly texted and emailed that my girlfriend was ill, she's not doing well, this guy's hitting on her, driving around town bringing her favourite milkshakes, and like, you really need to do something about it. I know that you're away, but these are really like some causes for concern. And then I got told, your girlfriend has cancer. And I was kind of like, what the hell?
How did you get told?
You know, really, really upset. And I was told that it was heart cancer. And they were like, you know, we're planning the funeral, we've got the coffin, all this time. I never told my mum because I felt like I was going to ruin the trip. And I was sick of ruining all these really lovely things that she'd planned for us to do. But eventually I couldn't take it anymore. It was just eating away at me, and I had to tell her. I didn't know whether to fly back. Her family wouldn't return my calls. I was absolutely spiraling. Eventually I confided in a friend. I was literally at the end of my tether.
For a person to have the gall to lie about having an illness, one that readily affects so many people within this world, such as cancer, and then use that to trick, to deceive, to manipulate someone, and especially manipulate someone that you say that you're in a relationship with, this is probably the lowest form of human, right? The lowest form of scammer. But also to be so stupid as to even create a type of cancer that doesn't even exist. See, in my situation, the lovely young harlot from my past, she told me it was ovarian cancer. At least she made it believable. By the way, I'll leave a link down in the description box if you guys want to see the full story, the Red Pill Awakening story. I'll leave that down below. But let's proceed.
And I basically signed all my social media and my email account over to her.
What?
And I told her about the heart cancer, and she actually asked one of her friends who's a doctor, who said, heart cancer doesn't exist. And I was just kind of like, what? Because obviously over this time, me and my girlfriend had developed an amazing relationship. We spent so much time together, had so many amazing memories. We connected. I was convinced that we were going to get married, that she was the one. And I was like, what? Heart cancer doesn't exist? What is happening here? I was actually broken. I was a really broken person. But my friend did actually notice a pattern within these messages, and that they all had the same sort of tone, same
punctuation,
sort of urgency.
Yeah.
And she said, do you not realise? And I went, what do you mean? She went, well, they're all the same person, I think. I'm pretty sure these are all the same person. And I was like,
yeah, I'm going to say that this is also mixed with a degree of rose-colored glasses and then also just plain old stupidity. And I hate to make it sound like that, but you got random texts from random people describing ridiculous situations about your girlfriend when you were away from her, when you went up on trips, when you were doing something without her. That's when you were getting these random texts from random numbers and you didn't think anything was suspicious. And when I say idiot, let me be a little bit more accurate. This can come from ignorance or naivety, because although you may not be a liar or someone who would do something as ridiculous as this, you ignored the red flags and the key indicators that would have tipped you off a little bit sooner.
I was like, what? And I was like, how does my girlfriend even have the energy to do all of that? And I'd like to say that my world fell apart, but it kind of didn't. I didn't want to accuse my girlfriend, the person that I love, of doing this, but it kind of made me feel a bit relieved and lifted why I was going insane with all these messages. It kind of made me make sense. And I was kind of like, well, does she have cancer? Does she not have cancer? So I had to just assume that everything was all a lie. But my entire world had felt so noisy, so confusing, so chaotic that it kind of almost felt silent when I accepted the fact that my girlfriend had lied to me about everything. I confronted her, but she never did set the record straight. These webs of lies were just... I just kind of found peace in never knowing. All I know is that we broke up, and after that, she was supposedly engaged. Which I found out, some random person told me. She asked for everything that she'd ever given me and bought me as presents back. And she told me that she was going to post all of my stuff back to me as well, but she never did.
She's Satan.
She also told me that she was going to tell me the truth if I called her, but I never did, because knowing that someone had woven such a thick web of lies,
can't believe,
and told me that they loved me, and I just thought, well, like, she'd lied to me, everyone around me, messed up my life, my family. It was enough knowing that. Like, I didn't need to know the truth. I'd had enough. I blocked all the emails, social media accounts, the therapist that she'd impersonated. I had to delete my social media because every time I blocked an account, another spam account would like message me, send me message requests, which, you know, I'd like read, and it was really hard to just get away from it. It was just like constantly trying to get in touch with me. It just wasn't worth having social media, so I had to delete my social media.
And listen, the exact way that I'm talking to her, with her being not, like, I wish I had someone within my life at that particular junction to talk to me in that way. I mean, I was like 19-ish years old at that junction. I felt like I knew it all, right? Accepting relationship advice from my father. And matter of fact, I don't even know if he knew that I was in a relationship. We just didn't talk about, at least at that component, relationships and things that I was going through. But I wish that someone talked to me like that directly, because I was the naive one in that situation. It was absolutely things that just went completely over my head. Because in my understanding of the world at that time, while I consider myself street smart, I never thought that evilness could exist to that extent. And lying about something as serious as what that is absolutely evil, right? You see evilness kind of exists on the internet. You see it in news clippings and stories or what have you, but you never think that it's something that can happen to you. But I'm so happy that it did, because listen, the thing is, with my situation, I could have figured it out later, right? After a child, like maybe even after I put a ring up on her finger, all right? Putting a person up on a pedestal that is a pathological liar, then I would have been locked into a situation, unable to understand the degree of liar that exists within that person, unable to understand the degree of manipulation that she is exacting upon me to get me to act like who she wanted to be validated in her perception of who she wanted to be. There's many people that are watching this channel right now, but if it's not a chick lying about cancer, it could be someone who is stepping out on you and cheating on you. And even if you catch them within their lives, they will most likely never admit to it. That was actually some advice that I got when I found out that she was cheating on me, utilizing cancer as a way to create distance, to go step around with other dudes that didn't even know that she was still in a relationship because she was lying to them. The advice that I got is, even when you confront her about it, she will lie. And damn sure when I confronted her about it, that's all that she did. What are you talking about? How did you hear of that? But then I had the proof. I had the receipts. But yeah, looking back on a situation like that and coming to terms with someone that, you know, was a major component of your life, and then going through the grief of that situation, right? I took that L and then turned it into a fantastic work ethic. Because I will say, you know, my time within school, within college, I was having fun. I was partying. I was doing a damn thing. But then I was able to, not only an understanding that this type of person exists within her own nature, but then also I leveled up myself. I made it a point to upgrade everything and to prove that through my success, I am way better and will be way better than even her own expectations of who I would have been. Come to find out later on in life, she ended up getting married, and actually to a multimillionaire. So her tricks had won. But man, that guy, the kids, there's 3 of them, none of them look like him. And I'm talking about one of the kids looked like a completely different race. Ironically enough, I met the guy. He didn't know that I was in a relationship with his lying ass ex-wife. I didn't feel the need to be able to bring it up. But when I looked in his eye, I thought to myself, shit, that could have been me. I made it out relatively unscathed and with a fantastic work ethic. And now I do content and speaking about these very things. Able to turn a big ass L within my life into content that now has touched over 350 million people just on YouTube alone. Moral of the story, gentlemen, become very aware with human nature. Never let your L destroy you, for you should turn that L into an absolute W, because it is incumbent for you to turn that L into a W. Let's listen back up. Let's see if we can learn any more.
Yeah, so it wasn't cool, and I had to start my entire life over. And I was really not in a good way as much as I felt like this massive weight had been lifted. I felt like I was empty. I was a complete shell of myself. Like I'd made my life this person. Thought we were going to spend the rest of our lives together. And it was just all a lie, and it was like rebuilding from the ground up, and who I was as a person, like, I felt like it kind of gave me depression, because, like, I don't have it now, but I was just in such this depressed hole about life that I'd wasted, and yeah, I really wasn't in a good way. Like, I felt clear about how I'd ended things, but I just felt empty, like a complete black hole. Like, yeah, it just wasn't good. This person, I then spoke to the police and they told me that it was emotional abuse. Emotional abuse, just for definition, is where there is a power imbalance that causes an individual to feel unsafe. This can be criticism, bullying, belittling, intimidation, gaslighting, control, isolation, breaking your self-esteem, and general, like, somehow making you feel guilty or shame into doing things, and changing your actions by, like, making you feel guilt around them, and, like, convincing you to do things that you wouldn't otherwise do.
I guess she went to the cops because she was getting all these messages from random people. It was probably all just the girlfriend just being crazy as hell. But yeah, being tricked into heart cancer, a cancer that doesn't even exist, is damn wild. But guys, let me know down in the comment box down below. But did you have an awakening when you began to understand human nature, female nature, male nature? And at what point, what was that particular story? And also, how were you able to transition that into a damn W? I want to see your comments down below. If this content gets enough comments for it, maybe I'll bring it up on a live stream and we can have a conversation about it. Questions, comments, concerns, y'all already know what to do. Me, go to turtlesandreviews@gmail.com. Last but not least, you guys already know what I'm about to say. My men's self-development community is going absolutely up. Guys, make sure you click the link down in the description box down below to see the things that are in store. And I will absolutely see you guys soon. Until next time, YouTube. Peace. You is ratchet as they come. Rainbow weaves and batwing lashes, weighing more than a man. What time is your football practice? I bet you can hit that A gift like a mug. How you big back it? Said a man must buy you gifts. Where here goes a Fitbit tracker. Are you mad? Cause you got 3 kids by 4 different dads. You pick cookies, then you bash. Oh man, when you get sad, then